Alright, so you've probably heard the term machine learning thrown around in gaming circles, and most of the time, you just nod along and pretend you get it. I did the same thing until I realized AI isn't just replacing developers, it's literally playing inside your games right now, and you have no idea what it's doing. Let's start with something concrete. When you load up a game, any game, and you see an NPC walk around, solve a puzzle, or hunt you down, that's not a human controlling it. That's a decision tree, or it used to be. Now, it's neural networks. Here's the actual difference, and this matters. Old AI in games was scripted. The enemy sees you, distance is less than 50 meters. Attack. See cover, move to cover. Simple, predictable. You learn the patterns and you beat them. New AI, the kind powered by machine learning, doesn't follow a script. It learns from your behavior. It adapts in real time. And if you're playing a modern game with advanced AI, you're actually training it every time you move, every time you make a decision. But here's where it gets wild. Most game studios won't tell you when they're using it. Why? Because once players know they're being hunted by an algorithm that's learning their patterns, the game feels different, sometimes broken, sometimes too hard. The illusion breaks. I've been digging into this, and the major engines, Unreal, Unity, Godot, all have machine learning plugins. They're not hidden, they're just not marketed to players. They're sold to developers as optimization tools. Make your AI smarter without writing 10,000 lines of code. That's the pitch. So what does this mean for you, the player? 3 things. First, some of the difficulty spikes you've been blaming on bad game design. That's adaptive AI. It's literally calibrating in real time based on your playstyle. Miss too many shots, it backs off. You're dominating, it gets aggressive. The game is playing against your habits, not a predetermined difficulty curve. Second, the more you play, the better the AI gets against you specifically. This is actually a feature, not a bug. It's called player-centric AI tuning. Your data, your movement, your timing, your weak spots, it's all being logged and processed. Not always sent to servers. Sometimes it's local, but it's happening. Third, this is why speedrunning is becoming insanely competitive. Speedrunners have figured out that some AI patterns can be exploited because the machine learning models have edges. Edge cases where they behave predictably. Once you find them, you can break the game. The AI trained on normal player behavior, not on someone who's going to shoot a rocket launcher backwards through a wall. Now let me hit you with the practical part. How do you identify if a game is using adaptive AI? Look for these signs. 1. Enemy behavior changes radically mid-encounter. Not scripted attacks, not phases, just constant adaptation. 2. Difficulty feels personal, like the game is learning you, not just ramping up a slider. 3. Replaying the exact same encounter and the enemy does something completely different. That's a dead giveaway. Machine learning. 4. The game performs noticeably worse when there are lots of enemies on screen. That's because the CPU is running inference on multiple neural networks simultaneously. It's computationally expensive. Here's the thing that actually matters though. This tech is getting cheaper and faster every year. In 5 years, not using machine learning for enemy AI will be seen as lazy. Every AAA game will have it. Most indie games probably will too. But there's a problem. We don't have regulation. We don't have transparency. You're playing against algorithms that are learning your behavior, and nobody's required to tell you that's happening. The game doesn't have a disclaimer. There's no "this AI uses neural networks" warning label. Some games are doing it right. Helldivers 2 is transparent about it. The AI director is a documented system that players understand, but most games, radio silence. So here's my take. Understanding that you're playing against machine learning doesn't ruin games. It makes them better. You stop blaming yourself for dying to cheap AI. You start understanding that the game is literally learning from you, which is actually kind of insane when you think about it. And if you're the type who likes to break games, knowing this changes everything. You're not fighting a script, you're fighting an algorithm. And algorithms have patterns. Once you see them, you can exploit them. That's the future of gaming. Not games that are harder, games that are smarter, games that learn. The question is, how much do you want to know about how that works? Because once you start seeing the machine learning under the surface, you can't unsee it.